Hi, welcome to another lesson, this one on integrating file I/O in Java. And I have created a program for Connect4, fun little program. And I store the scores in a file and then update every time a game is played, update the statistics. And I just want to show you a little bit about what the program does, and then explain how I do this with file I/O. So this is a game, and like the diagonal one, just one, I have down here is statistics for the two players playing. And if I wanted to then start a new game, I could, and it clears off the board. I can also go ahead and just check the statistics, and the statistics are kept update. So if I have a game, let's see if I just have a quick game. And we'll just go ahead and make sure there's one winner. Notice the winner is picked. And notice now how this is updated. So Henry has now played 2 games. And Bob has played 5 games. Henry has 1 win, 1 loss, 0 ties. And then Bob is 2 and 3 with 0 ties. I can also, then if I go to statistics again, notice how the scores have been updated. I can also then change new players. And when I say OK, notice then George's statistics are brought up, and Sam, since he's a brand new player, are all zeros. Then let's see if I play another game, then just show you what a diagonal looks like. And notice I have that. And since it's the first one, then it says George has played 3 games. And Sam lost 1. So now George is 1, 1, and 1. And then I'm just going to go through and show you what this all looks like. If I exit the game goes away. And then the libraries that are needed to import are java.io.asterisk, and there's several different libraries here. There's about 3 or 4 libraries that need to be loaded for using PrintWriter, and consequently, it's easier just to include all the Java I/O libraries. Then Scanner is used for reading files, and so I'm including this also. As you know, if you use some IDE like IdeaJ, then if you go down and something is not defined, then it will give you an opportunity to, or it tells you what needs to be imported in order to get something done. Then, if you notice, then I have here, then file base. I'm just using Connect4 because that's the game I'm playing. And then I have main.txt and a backup file.bak. .bak is a standard for backup files, since Microsoft originally just did 3-letter acronyms or suffixes. So then in here, Then I'm using PrintWriter, which is from the I/O, and Scanner, which is from the, let's see, util. It's interesting how they're from different parts of the program. Okay, then I go down to let's see. And I add player. Okay, and then init players is where I want to go. So I go through and initialize all the players and initialize everything for the 2 players to 0. Oh, I see a little bit of problem here. I think that should all be 1. Likewise, because we have to set both players to 0. And of course, by default, that's happening anyway, but I just want to be more precise. And then, as you know, in Java and in C++, you can have one variable equals a second variable equals a value, and both variables are set to the final value. So we're just going through and setting everything to 0 to begin with. Then I go ahead and do file in. Notice file in is equal to file main, which is equal to connect4.txt, and then the back is connect4.bak. Only if the file exists, then I go and set output PrintWriter to the backup file, and then set up the scanner to the file in. I'm just going to read through the file in, so I'm not going to modify it at this time. So then on the PrintWriter, notice I have these 2 set up, and then I first of all, again, check to see if the file exists. Then I come down here to write, or while. I'm going to read 1 line. I'm actually going to check to see if it has a next to begin with. And if it does have a next, then I can input the next line. And then the line will be in the form. I should probably have, let's see if I have those files here. So I can bring up the connect4.txt file. And if you notice, then these are the various players that have played, how many games they've played, how many times they've won, lost, and tied. So it looks like Fred's doing the best. And then let me just go ahead and close off those. So I have gone ahead and checked to see if the file exists. Then I start reading in the files. And then notice I am splitting the line up into name, which is the first item. They're all comma separated. And I have a certain routine. If you want me to, I can go through this also. Then I have the name as, let's see, location 0 on the split line. What split line does is it uses the comma to separate fields into separate fields. The first one is going to be read in as a string. In fact, they're all read in as strings. But then the games, I'm going to convert to an integer. Same thing with wins and losses and ties. Then I'm going to go through the the two players, and I'm going to see then if the name that was just read in from the file matches either one of my players, and if it does, then I go ahead and load up the player structure or class with the values that were in the file for this particular person. Again, is that can only happen if there's a match between names. If there's no match between the names, then the person's score starts off as all zeros. Okay, that is then anytime I open a file, I have to close it. This is a vital part of file handling. So if you have any questions, please ask. And then going down, these are all just routines for Connect 4, excuse me. And I'm looking for set token. These are all items. Okay. Mouse click. See, I'm just looking for, oh, Clearboard is a nice thing. It just doesn't store any statistics, but it just clears the board. So if you didn't like the way some game is going, then you can always clear the board and start over. Okay, that player reads the files. Okay, then print statistics. Let's see if this is where. Oh, okay. Print statistics then reads the file. So the only file I'm going to read is the current file. And then I come down here and split again the information so it's usable by the user. And then I set games, etc. through ties. And then if I go through and one of the names that was read from the file matches, then I replace for the statistics. I just replace the information from the file over the zeros. So again, this is just mostly a read. So I use scanner to read everything in. And I'm just looking for, let's see. Okay, let's start. So I'm just going to look for file main. I guess this is not working. Okay, let's go down here. Is one. Clear board, fairly easy. Extends. Mouse click. Okay, I don't see anything for writing. Then this just says if you want to play, anytime you click the mouse and click on a location to drop a checker for drop Connect 4, then anytime that mouse is clicked, then it automatically goes to this routine. That's what this is about. Let's see, then set token. Clear board. This looks like, is one. Checks to see if there's any winners. Checks to see if the board's full. Initializes the player. Okay, this is then the handle statistics. And then this is the one that handles the game exit, which is the one I really wanted to look at, because then I try then setting output to new print writer. And then I'm going to do, if you notice, file out, file in, file out is a new file, and it points to the file out, points to file main, because that's where I'm putting something out to. And I'm reading back from the backfire, which I explained how I made in the first part of this video. So then, if you notice, I'm setting up the prime writer to file out and the scanner to read the file in. And then, in case can be problems with this, so like if you no longer can access a particular file, it will error out at this point. So that's if you don't, there are checks for it, but if the check passes and then the file really isn't there, then there will be an error. That's why you have to have a try catch. Okay, so notice it's a print writer and uses file outs. And then I'm reading in. And I'm just telling the scanner that I am using fields. And then I'm going to go ahead and read the backup file, write everything to the backup file, then read the 2 character information that I had with the Okay, I just copy the backup file, put it into the master file or the .text file, and then I write the values of the two players currently playing so that everybody's there and I don't have a whole bunch of extra people. So if you take a look at the code, and I'll be glad to go over it with you, but here's where I'm doing the writes, and then the other places where I'm doing the reads. Then that's it. Let me just go ahead and put that last part. It's late on Sunday night, so I apologize. So I am going to go ahead and stop recording. Okay, hopefully this has been helpful.